Okay. Parshas Devorim and Shabbos Chazon. First we'll start with Parshas Devorim. A major theme that Moshe Rabbeinu deals with in Parshas Devorim, Parshas Veschanan, is the inyan of Tisha B'Av, of the Meraglim. And Moshe Rabbeinu says, "Vatikruvun elai kulchem." You all gathered around me, and you said, we want to send spies to spy out the land. Says Rashi, "Vatikruvun elai kulchem b'irbuvya." Chaos, confusion. They all came. We want to send spies. Everybody's doing cacophony of a lot of voices and young and old and first this and they're pushing these and this. Says Rashi, that was already a sign that things weren't the way they're supposed to be. As opposed to at Matan Torah, other times when things are done properly, the young give cover to the old. It's a way of doing things. Says the Kli Yakar, we can take this a step further. Says the Kli Yakar that when it came to the people telling Moshe Rabbeinu, Daber ata imanu, we don't want to have Hashem speaking to us. We want you to speak to us. It's too much. We can't handle Hashem speaking to us. So we just want you to speak to us. Over there, they came in a very orderly fashion. And they derech eretz, and they spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu. Says the Kli Yakar, Moshe Rabbeinu felt you should have been confused. You should have come in a state of chaos of saying, we don't know what to do. We so much want to hear Hashem, but what can we do? It's too much for us. But there, everything was very placid, organized. Says the Kli Yakar, Moshe Rabbeinu said, so I thought because you're an organized people, you're very dignified, so you do everything in a proper way. So even though it hurt you and it was difficult, but you maintained your way of keeping everything in an order. Says, but when you came to me for the Meraglim, I saw that when something really mattered, that then you really rushed and you really came and you pushed and you shoved. So that kind of says to me that, by Matan Torah, it just wasn't important enough to you. It goes ahead and shows that your sense of order that came then was not because you're such a disciplined people. You just didn't care. So it's a double. It's on one side, here you're disorganized, here you don't know how to keep an order. And on the other side, you didn't really care so much about Matan Torah. But I think that if we put it all in perspective, then maybe there's a silver lining and something that we have to learn for life. You see, when it came to Matan Torah, the people felt that it's too much for us. We can't manage. I can't do it. They felt that the revelation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu was killing them, literally. What it says, they were dying from it. Malachim had to revive them. Here, a few psukim earlier, it says Moshe Rabbeinu told the Jewish people, Hashem says, I'm ready to take you to Eretz Yisrael. Alei Reish, go up and inherit the land. And it struck me very interesting. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't say, Bo Rishu, come with me, we're going to take possession of the land. he said to the people, it's all in your hands. Go up there and get it. So you know what? When the people heard that it's all in your hands, what? I got to do this myself. Oy vey. How am I going to manage? There's a certain sense of, it's too much for me. In both cases, the people are reacting to too much responsibility. They feel it's too much of an it's too much of a yoke. So therefore, perhaps the lesson for us in life is that there are certain times we have to give responsibilities to people. But we have to recognize that when we give people responsibilities, we have to make sure that they feel the confidence, that they have the support to be able to do it. And sometimes that's the most important factor in success or failure. Perhaps to know, I'm here behind you. You're going to do it, but I'm with you. I'm pushing for you. That in itself can make a tremendous difference. And then the person is able to take it with a certain calmness and say, okay, it's going to be hard, but me, I'll be able to do it. And Bezat Hashem, we should be able to do it. That's in Parshas Devorim. Shabbos Chazon, Shabbos for Tisha B'Av. We know, first we talk about the fact that the Shlosha de Puranusa, the 3 Shabbatot in which we read about the decline of Klal Yisrael, they deal with 3 of the senses, which are the main senses in relationships. The first one is divrei, the words. The second one is shimu, listen. And the third one is chazon, see. Klal Yisrael, in our relationship to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we messed up. We didn't heed the words, or maybe we had our own words and had our own opinions of how to do things. We didn't listen. We weren't hearing. We didn't have the sense of really taking in, hearing what was going on. And that was disastrous. And then Chazon, we saw things wrong. We saw things differently. And that was the harbinger of the Korban. Because we saw a world and society, and we dealt with it in our own way without recognizing that we were godless and that we were not doing things in the way Hashem wanted. But the truth is, Chazon is also the seed for the Yeshua. Because as much as we saw things wrong, the way that we can start our Yeshua is if we can see that there can be a better way. And therefore, Chazon, Mitzad Echad, is the greatest Avelus, because the vision, that which we see in front of us, is destruction. But we have the ability to be like Rabbi Akiva, who from within the destruction can see a brighter future. And that's what we have to do. We have to see a Chazon, our personal Chazon, our community Chazon, and our national Chazon. And especially in our day and age, certainly anybody who's in Eretz Yisrael knows this. There's a great challenge. What is our Chazon? We can and should, all factors and all parties in Eretz Yisrael, if we would have a Chazon for a greater nation, for a nation of Avodas Hashem, of Jewishness, meaning, direction, we can pull ourselves together and use our Chazon to really bring a Yeshua.